It is. Okay, guys, here we go. This is our complementary painting. We're going to be working with this in a way similar to the analogous painting that we did a minute ago. I'm going to shift this just a little bit, maybe, yeah, there we go. So you can see things just a little bit better for what's going on over there. I hope that that's going to be clear for you. I'm going to show you some examples and think about the prep work that we're working with here. So this is a painting that we're only going to be working with analogous colors and complementary colors, still no white or black, okay? So just to reiterate, remember that analogous colors are going to be colors that, for example, we've got a yellow pear here that is kind of a yellow, kind of a goldy kind of yellow. So it's kind of a yellow orange sort of color. So we're going to be working with these yellows, oranges, possibly getting down into some reds and things like that, although it doesn't look really warm. Sometimes you will have a little bit of oranginess to it. We've got a green cup, and it's kind of a pale green, so it's a yellow-green cup, and we'll still be working with the same kinds of greens like we did on the apple a few minutes ago. And we're going to have a blue cloth, and so that's something that we'll have to work with, trying to figure out like how to make the colors work analogously or complementary, and how that will work. So we're going to start out with these analogous colors, but then we're going to use complementary colors in order to make the dark side of things. I'm going to turn off my email so that doesn't keep binging on us. So I'm going to show you how this is going to work. I've got some examples here to begin with. For students who are very new to drawing and painting, you know, something like this, a simple orange, okay? And you can see that there's color there on the bottom of it that looks kind of dark. And that's where the student used a little bit of the complementary colors. Here's another one, really nicely done. Okay, I like how light this is, the dark here, that it really did look like that. It's a little exaggerated, but I thought it turned out really well. Here's a really nice one. This is a red pepper. Red peppers are, the shape of them is a little bit trickier. It's kind of a dark painting, so it's a little hard to see, you know, down through here. But I think the student did a really nice job of coming up with some really light reds here at the top, and then these kind of dark violet kind of reds here at the bottom. Okay, so that worked out really nicely. Get this stuff out of our way here. Okay, and so once again, just to reiterate, you know, what it is that we're doing. Oh, and I wanted to talk about drawing. So this time I have a pear and a cup. Okay, little green cylinder. So of course I started out by doing some sketches beforehand. This will just kind of help you kind of get the hang of things. And I think I'll just draw on the canvas and let you know, like, you know, how this is going to work. So let's see. Okay. And I think I'll just use this stuff. I'm just reusing, since I'm doing all of these videos all at the same time here in the middle of the summer. Hope you guys had a nice summer. This is what I'm doing with my summer vacation. So now once again, you know, when I'm looking at this, I'm going to try to decide whether it looks like my scene is horizontal or vertical. I've got two rather short things that are spaced somewhat apart. So even looking here, you know, through your video and looking at this, you can see that this seam between the cup and the pear, it looks wider than it is tall. So that means my canvas is going to go horizontally, and that way I'll have enough room. I'm actually going to make these a little bit bigger than life size, so that way you'll be able to see it. And also things are easier to do when they're big, because we don't have these like really tiny little brushes. So if they're bigger, then we just have a little bit more room to maneuver. Now, as I've done before with cylinders, I'm doing this transparently. So I've got an ellipse here at the top, and an ellipse at the bottom, and then 2 uprights. I'm going to do like a little bit of sighting here, and it looks like if I come out like about halfway up that cylinder, that's where my pear is starting. And I'm going to, let's see if I can find out, maybe. The pear is about as tall as the cup is wide. And I don't know, I think I might end up like shifting this a little bit. I think it's taller, but yeah, I'm sure it's taller. I'm still using green. It's okay, you know. I should use yellow. Let's see if I can pick up something with yellow. Yeah. Okay, doing a little bit of shifting here. I picked up some yellow ochre. Yellow ochre is a color that I haven't talked about yet. It's this color right here. It looks kind of like a brown mustard, okay? And it's kind of a natural yellow. It's a pretty cool color. I'll talk to you about it a little bit as I'm working, but. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with what I've got going on here. See if I can put up something that's just a little bit darker. When I'm looking at the image on my computer, I can tell that you guys possibly can't see that edge. Okay, so this is my initial drawing, and just to reiterate, you know, what it is that I'm doing. I started out with my cylinder, and I somewhat eyeballed it, you know, as far as like how tall it is to how wide it is. I think he needs to be a little skinnier, actually. That's better. Okay. All right. And then I took a look at and compared the cylinder to the pear. The cylinders and balls, the reason that we started with those with like the black and white painting is because they're the easiest things to draw. Okay. Once we get into the things that are more organic shape, it's going to be a little trickier to do. So I made my cylinder, and then I am looking at how wide my cylinder is. And again, I'm doing this sighting thing. So I'm putting my paintbrush out here, and I'm going to do it with my other hand so you can see my hand. And so I'm kind of running my thumbnail along the shaft of the brush so that I can see how wide it is. And then I just run my hand over, and I can see that my pear is just about the same width. It's a little bit skinnier, okay? Now, when you're looking at this, we've got this mark, and we put it onto this, and that doesn't really make a lot of sense. So what you have to do is you have to start out with your initial thing, and this measurement, we throw it away, and then I go to this and say, okay, there's the width of that, and then I compare it to this, and that's just a little bit skinnier, and so, yeah. And so that'll work. Got the stem coming out here. Okay. All right. So before I go any further, you know, I'm pretty pleased with, you know, where that's all going. And so I'm going to, I happen to still have this this brush that had like a little bit of violet on it. And remember, you know, with our cylinder, we've got this ellipse here at the bottom, and that's going to help me try to figure out where that cast shadow is. And it looks like it's kind of ending, like right there, dead center in front of the pear. And the cylinder has a rounded top, so that end of its shadow is going to be rounded also. I know that it's going to come out like right about here because I can see where that's just, it's where that light is casting that shadow to come straight out. Okay, something like that. And then from this corner here on my little cylinder, I can see that it comes up just like a smidgen. And so I put that in, okay? I'm gonna do the same thing with my cast shadow over here for my pear. And I don't have an ellipse to work from. So I'm going to have to do that thing again where I'm looking at the kind of the bottom ball of my pear, and I'm going to once again think of this in terms of like a clock face, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. And when I look at this, it looks like that other part of the shadow is coming out at about the 8 o'clock point. Okay, so now I've got everything laid out. And keep in mind that, artwork, when we're making artwork, is very self-reflective, okay? So we put something down and then we assess it. And so this would be a good point to stand up, step back about 6 feet. You're going to be able to see all parts of it. You're not going to be quite so focused on that your brush mark is a little shaky or something like that, because you won't see those details. And you're going to be able to see the entire thing. I'm pretty happy with where this is going, so I'm going to continue